Hello guys, hello. I decided to go ahead and make a Path of Exile comparison video since I went ahead and played Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1. I started on 2, so this is from a PoE 2 player's perspective. This is my first season in PoE 1. I had made me a witch and then I was like, never mind. So I ended up making an assassin. I someone kind of told me an assassin was good, so I decided to go ahead and make that. Wait till it loads here so I can show y'all the progress, and then I'll show y'all how I feel about everything, like with regard to the RNG and the mapping. There are certain things that I prefer in PoE 1 versus PoE 2, and there's some things that I prefer in PoE 2 versus PoE 1. So it usually loads faster than this, but we'll get there. Lord have mercy. There it goes. So, this is my dog. As you see, I have the armor. Okay, so I did finish my Atlas points, right? I have 115 out of 115. I have all 4 stones. I mean, I haven't completed all of the originator's memories. And I do still have to complete the Maven, the Feared. I do have like some things to complete. I haven't like completely destroyed the game. What I do like about this game is that there are so many ways to build. This is not like Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2, in the first season, there was a lot of variety. I actually went Demon Form Witch, and I loved it. I was having a blast. I think I put 1,000 hours on PoE 2. Let's look at my hour comparison. Let's talk about this. PoE 1, 313.5 hours. That's how much I put into this season to get this character level 97. And it's great. I can do tier 16s. I can do bosses. I mean, I can do everything. I went Venom Gyre, and this is the build. I use daggers. This is not even a build that's meta, right? I made this build, okay? I like to make builds. I don't follow people's how to level guides or how to do thing guides. Honestly, there's too much freaking reading. I like to play the game. So I play it. I build how what I think, is the best. I did go to PoE Ninja after my build was at a certain point, and I looked at some people who were in the millions of damage to see how their build differed from mine. But honestly, there wasn't much of a difference. What they did do was teach me about cluster jewels. Cluster jewels is not something that I am very familiar with on PoE 2. On PoE 2, they have megalomaniacs, right? So I use this one because I'm a poison build, so I use ailments. And this right here, where it says one added passive skill is disease vector. One added passive skill is this. One added passive skill is this. When it comes to building, this is what I had to learn when it came to PoE Ninja. The rest of it I did myself. And with regard to PoE Ninja, I just kind of had looked at some people's builds and I was like, oh, okay, so you're looking for chaos. I just kind of understood like the general gist. There are some things that were just freaking amazing, like disease vector. I needed that once I had read it on like the tree or whatever. It stops all regeneration. One of the biggest problems with this build is that they would regenerate faster than I did damage, and then I would just sit there doing nothing. So this is one of those amazing passives. Yeah, I really like this game compared to PoE 2. They are very, very different. Let's go to my hideout real quick. There are certain things that I like about PoE 1 that are not in PoE 2, and that majorly comes from how to make money. PoE2 does not have a lot of avenues for currency generation, right? When I was playing PoE2 and I was farming for my currency, I basically just ran breach. Um, the breach boss, Zesh tier 4, that's basically how I made my money. At the very beginning of the league, they had done rings. Most of the time, you got white bases. So half the time, I would find a ring with the white base, sell it for 40 chaos, go to the currency exchange, buy a breach stone for 40 chaos, and now we're circling, right? After that, it was basically if I got a divine or I was looking for Reaver catalysts and all of those things. Reaver catalysts are a ton of money in PoE2. So that is predominantly how I made my money. I didn't make money very much through just general mapping. And so therefore I didn't really interact with many of the mechanics like ritual. I didn't do much ritual. In fact, by the time I started making money, I would just go buy a ritual key to go fight the boss. I don't want to do ritual because they're locking me in a very confined space. And I believe even it was released to PoE2 that in that confined space were the most deaths, right? Because of the volatile plants. So I decided to just not deal with the mechanic, honestly. Um, and I think um, that some of the creations of certain mechanics, I feel like they just haven't been tested. And or I guess they're being tested now or moreover. And I think that was such a big problem in PoE2 because they had all these mechanics but none of them worked. Like they had recombination. And recombo was good for a base item. Like for the first three things, like if you wanted high physical damage, physical attack, and then maybe crit chance or crit multiplier on your spear, then it was very easy to get those things with the recombo for the first three. But then the next two tiers of items are or of the next two things that when you hit with an exalted, they're normally RNG and they're possibly pretty trash. So when it comes to creation of items, Path of Exile 1 is far superior. When it comes to generation of currency, Path of Exile 1 is far superior. Um, that is how I feel. With regard to the graphics, I feel like PoE2 is better. With regard to the smoothness of the game, I feel like PoE2 is better. Even with regard to the balance of the game, I feel like PoE2 is better. I don't think PoE1 is that balanced. I actually think it's way out of balance. But I guess that might be some of the point because there is a certain point where some of your characters they got 100,000 damage, and then you see some of these characters have 26 million damage. So there's a huge gap of damage and skill base in PoE2. Oh, and PoE1. PoE2 for me is very when it comes to crafting, it's horrible. I don't craft in PoE2. You know what I craft? You know how I craft in PoE2? I find a great item, I hit it with some quality, I hit it with some runes, right? And if I get a great corrupt, I'm selling it for a bunch of divs. This PoE1, there is actual crafting in this game. Do I like it? To a certain extent. I think it's too convoluted. There's too much crap in here. There's too many avenues. And I think that's it just makes the game frustrating in a way because you have to farm all these mechanics to get certain results, and it could be I don't know, just a bit taxing, I guess. So now, with that being said, I crafted this dagger. Did I fully craft it? No. I crafted it with my boy Chosen, and we went to the PoE website, PoE mod or something like that, or he did, and we had basically looked through the the weights of certain upgrades, the weights and chances. If you do it in a certain order in PoE1, you can get what you want. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I'll say the deterministic value is far greater than in PoE2. And that's why items in PoE2, when they're actually freaking good, they're unbuyable. Because that was pure RNG. And it might take 3 million people to go through that same sequence to get another item of that caliber. So when it comes to crafting in PoE2, I don't even use it, to be frank. I'd rather buy an item. I'll even buy a great item for a div on trade, smack it with a corrupt. After I done quality and gave it some runes. And if the corrupt comes up good, now I'm flipping it for 10 div. But I don't craft in PoE2. It doesn't work. So I do in PoE1. I like these flasks. Now in PoE2 they have runes. Personally, I like the runes better. And I know a lot of people probably won't like that. I like flasks. I do. I love them, actually. And I love the fact that you can put these things on them when it says when an adjacent flask is used. That means these things are kind of popping all the time. And I appreciate that. Actually, I'll take back my statement. I like these more than the runes. I like these more than the runes. No, sorry. I'm messing up my wording. I like these more than the charms. Yes. Charms, to me, are shit in PoE2. They're horrible. They're basically useless. There is a freezing charm that I use on Zesh to stop from getting frozen. But other than that, I think I don't think I really use any charms after like the frozen one, or getting hit with fire damage to build rage. That's the only thing I really use. So the charms to me in PoE2 are trash, and I would actually appreciate maybe if they switch some of the charms with flasks. Now they're saying they're bringing 5 charms. Cool. I'm not gonna lie, if they brought 5 flasks to PoE2, I might be kind of happy. Right? Because it would make the building far more. It would make the power just be able to just reach those limits. Let's see. When it comes to PoE1, I don't like the links. I cannot stand this. I hate this, actually. I 100% love PoE2 and the fact that you can press G, buy a skill, get a perfect jeweler's orb, and live your life. I love it. I hate this crap. And then to get 1,500 orbs of fusing, like, I just don't want to. I personally don't want to. There's so many mechanics in things that I think that they're bad because it just involves so much extra work that is not needed. And I think these gyms were one of those things. Now, I agree with myself in the way that I don't like that you have to create all 5. I mean, it's kind of like a jeweler's orb, right? But the problem is that greater and jeweler's orbs are deterministic. These are RNG. I don't like that. I think I went through 1,000 fusing orbs one time, and then I just got so mad I went to trade and just bought a 6-link. Like, I just like it was a terrible experience, is what I will say. I do like the awakened gems for supports. I like these. I like that they go up a tier and they allow you to get to the next level. I actually want something like this in PoE2. Now they have in PoE2 you can corrupt a gem to get it to level 21 and you can get quality and all that. In PoE1 you can actually get 23 quality and level 21. That is impossible in PoE2. I like that. I like that there are perfect gems. You don't have to choose. I like that. So there are many things in here that I do appreciate. I like that it has non-channeling skills. Have you can subtract your mana costs. That is huge. They need it in PoE 2. Okay? Now, how many times, like for me personally, I was able to beat Zesh. I have a 96 character on PoE 2. It's an Amazon accuracy. I went accuracy. I did not go Tangle Tongue because I can't do that scummy crap. But how often I run out of mana because one ability when you're doing cast on crit and then you got marks on it and then you got ball lightning or whatever, your mana is gone. So you need I'm getting mana on hit or mana on kill. That is the only way to adjust or help yourself when it comes to mana. And I think they need to add stuff like this, non-channeling skills -7 to total mana cost. It's needed. Even on my ring right here, this is a I like even the fact that you can have legendary items that have different prefixes and different suffixes. I do like that because there's so many items in PoE 2 where you're like, oh, this could be good, but it's not good enough. And this could help that. And even on my ring, I have 8% armor, -2 to mana cost. So you'll see I actually don't have that much mana, but it's all right. It's okay. And that's the point. Like this is I'm able to build. I'm able to be a strong character and still spam my abilities. I don't have to cast one time and hope that I leech enough to cast again. Or cast and then press my 3 for my mana. And then as I'm leeching, I might have to keep pressing it. That is not ideal. I would prefer this. Non-channeling skills, subtracting mana. I like these. In PoE 1, these right here are amazing. Instilling orbs, enkindling orbs, these are the ones to where you're giving your flasks like parameters to where they're getting activated. Also, right here, Eater of Worlds and the implicits. These right here, game changer. I actually really, really, really like these. For me, this actually changed the entire PoE 2 or PoE 1 game for me because I didn't know about them. And then one day I was watching someone stream and I saw he was like, "Oh, implicit, pow!" And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Run that back! That's amazing." So this right here, I would love to see this in PoE 2. Now overall, I feel like PoE 1 has more avenues for players to choose which thing that they like. And I feel like PoE 2 just doesn't have those avenues, but I will get them, and that's fine. The reason why I would say PoE 1 is better than PoE 2 right now is because, look, I'm a first player. This is my first season. I made a lot of money. I know nothing about this game. I knew nothing about this game. Yet I was able to build. I was able to figure out the mana. I was able to figure these things out. And to me, it wasn't that complicated. Now, I did have to like look up some stuff, but if I'm really being honest, I had to look up a lot of information for PoE 2 as well. So we're talking Megalomaniacs. Now, these were amazing. The Forbidden Flame Crimson so that you can get another Ascendancy. This is amazing. This is actually what Demon Form needs. Demon Form is crap. It needs to use more Ascendancy points to actually be okay. And this right here, this interaction, would save Demon Form. Straight up. It would save the whole class. So, or just change it back to what it was and give me my armor. You know what I'm saying? Patch 1 was cool with Demon Form, and then you tried to change it and fix it, and you destroyed the whole thing. So, that is what I will say. I do like a lot of the visuals. This is my hideout. This is still a PoE 2 tower. I like the visuals here with the dragon on the stash. I like that I can hit a warp rune, and I like that I can go to different places. I love the crafting bench. Moreover, for quick crafting, the crafting bench and runes, honestly, to me, they kind of are identical. to a certain extent. I think the reason why crafting in PoE 1 with the bench feels so much better is because um, people are just able to find a few things that they like, and then they're able to slap on what they don't need, right? And as another modifier. Um, versus in PoE 2, if you don't have it and you're not getting the roll, you're going to have to RNG until you get it. Or you're going to have to put on a rune, if it even exists, and see if you can get it that way. So I do like this better because it has everything. It has dex. It just has a lot of stuff. And it has fire and cold resistance. I like this. And it does this in one mod. I think this is important. So yeah, I also like at the bottom, I'm not really see where you can do it right now, but it has something where you can say I can put up to 3 crafted mods. I can put up to more mods. And that's when you're getting into like more deterministic crafting, and that is also what I appreciate about PoE 1. There is deterministic crafting in this game. So that's my take on everything. I love PoE 2. I did not like any of the bosses in PoE 1. To me, they all felt there's just too much going on. Too many lights, too much stuff. In PoE 2, I feel like they almost zoom in a little bit and they allow the bosses and their movements to be very distinct, so you know what's going on. There's so many times that I've died in PoE 1 and I had no idea if I got hit by. I had no idea what happened. There was this one boss, I believe it's in Crimson Township. If you don't kill this man in 30 seconds, you die off of just being in the room. That is horrible. That is horrible to me. That is horrible design, and that is what I don't like about PoE 1. I do not like any of the bosses. I love the bosses in PoE 2. I farm them. I love them. Zesh, I can fight that man for 5 hours. I love it. I'll love every time. So that is my biggest take. I love the bosses in PoE 2, and I love the crafting in PoE 1. And yeah, that's my opinion with regard to that. I do not think it's hard to build. If you want to get into PoE 1, I fully believe you'll be able to do that. Yeah, it just might take a little bit of learning. So yeah, that is what I will say. I also like the movement skills. I'm Venom Geyer, so this right here is so fast. I go across the entire map in 2 seconds. So this is also hard for me to go back to PoE 2. I tried to go back to PoE 2, and it was very hard for me because I'm over there walking at this pace, and I want to get to the mobs. Like, yeah. So I like a lot of things that are in PoE 1. Now I did see that they leaked a shadow or an assassin, right, for PoE 2 in the concept art. If that comes with movement skills, thank you, JJJ. Appreciate you. So yeah. And most of how I made my money is off of Harvest, Betrayal, and here I'll show you guys my Atlas tree. Control G. Right here. Scarabs, Betrayal, and Life Force. And I've made a ton of money doing this. Yeah, like even this weapon right here, this is a 60 divine weapon. I made this weapon with my friend, but this is a amazing weapon. So, and this weapon in PoE 2, oh my god. On one weapon, I would be able to fund every character because RNG is so unreliable. So, granted, this is 60 div in PoE 1. This would be the amount of divs would be crazy in PoE 2. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy this reaction and comparison between the two games. I genuinely love both, and I'm going to play the PoE 2 patch when it comes out. I believe they said in August. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this PoE 1, and I'll probably end up playing in the future. Oh, sorry, real fast. I also like the maps. I hate towers in PoE 2. Sorry, I don't want to deal with them ever. I don't like the fact that I have to sit there and and think about how I want to set up something. This is a game. I like playing a game. If I wanted to plan stuff out, I would go play chess. I want to play. Boom. Map. Scarabs. Activate. Go. Please, get rid of the towers. Please. We all hate them. Side note. Anyway, hope you guys had love this stream. And hold on, let me just show you real fast. I think I might got a minute or two if it's not too fast. Yeah, it might take a minute. I had a feeling it might take a second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm in this, right? So my plague bear is going off. I can have auras just ticking. This is going off because of automation. I have steel skin. I like the automation parts of this build. I love it. I love the fact that I can just walk through here and insta kill everything. Like this right here is amazing. I don't even have to touch things. I'm just running. Dead, 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 dead. Like and then they have Val skills, which I can pop this and go real stupid. I don't even have to attack anymore. I just dash. Like the possibilities when it comes to this game are crazy. But as you can see, my frames are kind of going crazy, right? And then I'm not able to really see. Like it's just so much is happening, and the lights, it's hard to see. So that is what I will say. I do like PoE 2 and PoE 1. It's just certain things. Like right now, I'm elusive, so you can't really see. And then like you see how it's just like it's hard to see what's going on. Like it could be because the game is so fast, but I don't know. It's just my take. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah.